One of my favorite things to do at GDC, SGF, or any of these gaming events is to play some indie games. Now, there were quite a lot at Playdays this year, and I didn't get to play all the titles available, but of the ones I did get some really good hands-on time with, I really fell in love with. Here are my top 3 indie games that I played. Mr. Records is a new rhythm game from Glee Cheese Studio, developer of A Musical Story and Headbangers. Glee Cheese excels in rhythm-specific gameplay mechanics, as shown in his previous games, and Mr. Records combines everything the studio has learned to create an incredibly charming single-player game focusing on George, who manages a record store with his sleepy dog Buzz. Each day, George can order or be gifted new records that he'll play and experience through side-scrolling levels as he visualizes what he feels and sees when he listens to each song. The gameplay is pretty simple, with just a few inputs, done to the beats, but you can unlock the hardest mode by securing higher scores and by getting 3 stars. The daytime routine has George opening up his record shop and helping customers find that perfect record they're looking for. The happier customers are, the more records you can order. The most impressive part of Mr. Records is that every song you hear is completely original, created just for this game. There are so many songs you can listen and play through, and each really does a great job of capturing the feel of a specific style or artist that it's trying to emulate. There were some songs that were clearly inspired by the Beatles, classic 80s funk bands, hip-hop, and more. My personal favorite song I played during the demo was called Mia.
Clouds. If I'm walking down the street, look at your house.
And I was just smiling so much listening through that. Mr. Records is a really adorable game, both in concept and execution, and I really can't wait for this game to come out. Unfortunately, there isn't a public demo or release date yet, but this is something that I will absolutely be keeping my alerts on for. Bad Magpie is a beautifully illustrated narrative adventure game that really surprised me with how much depth this silly little game about an ill-behaved magpie contained. The premise is that you're a lone magpie that's been abandoned by your flock, and you have to collect shiny trinkets for a fallen star to find a cure for your loneliness. There isn't a single piece of dialogue in Bad Magpie, and yet its storytelling is one of the best I've seen in non-verbal or written experiences. The gameplay inputs are pretty simple. You hop around and peck at things to discover what you can do, and you solve environmental puzzles to gather meteorite shards or unlock new areas. In the demo I played, I ended up terrorizing some mice that were playing in the park. Yeah, I felt like an asshole, but I also set fire to quite a lot of patches of grass. One thing I want to point out that really impressed me in the demo was the audio design. No sound is the same, and even when the magpie is hopping around on various surfaces, the sound effects are entirely different. Every peck, interaction, and hop has unique sounds and effects, and I was just fully immersed in helping this magpie be her worst self. Even though the point is to be an asshole, you still feel the pain of the magpie in being alone, and this narrative is told in such a uniquely funny but heartbreaking way. There's no release date for Bad Magpie yet, but we have a release year for 2027. Blood Dungeon is a chaotic 2D platforming auto shooter that was a complete surprise title for me at SGF. Blood Dungeon is developed by Meshhoff, the creators of Nidhogg and Wheel World, and it's an incredible mix of vampire survivors and a frantic 2D platformer. The point of the game is to murder, unlock new upgrades, and survive. As with any auto shooter, there are a variety of different characters with unique abilities you can choose from to enter each new dungeon run with. So far, there are 9 unlockable characters, and my personal favorite was Fly that, could fly around. The art style is very much reminiscent of the original Nidhogg and is incredibly flashy, so anyone with epileptic tendencies should be careful playing this game. However, the busyness on the screen really does work for Blood Dungeon, since the entire 2D platforming maps are cramped and cause for really chaotic survival runs. When I first played the demo, I was frantically crawling all over the walls and flailing through underwater tunnels, just trying to figure out the game and understand the movement mechanics. Honestly though, as soon as you figure out how to jump around and crawl on ceilings, you're set to keep murdering and collecting more abilities and upgrades. The upgrades and items you can get are pretty weird, but also unique to the genre. There are over 100 unlockable weapons and upgrades, and I didn't even see half of those in my demo playthrough. I did end up making this weird build where my Fly character just kept throwing out balls and killing all the enemies with giant bouncing balls, and the occasional rocket launcher shots. Trying to explain this game to someone who has never played a bullet hell survival game is probably like explaining a fever dream. The music, labeled by Meshhoff as Dungeon Drum and Bass, is also entirely a gem. What I really liked about Blood Dungeon is that you don't have to be good at 2D platformers to enjoy the game. I am not quiet about being bad at platformers, especially 2D styled ones, but this mashup of the genre really worked out for me. If you want to play now, there is a demo available on Steam, and luckily, the release date is slated for sometime this late summer. Are you interested in playing any of these games? Were there any standouts at SGF that I missed? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.